Hello and welcome to the What's Your Journey show this evening. You are here live with Maverick Mary and Spunky Susan. And we have our show once a week, every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for the past 5 weeks, past 3 weeks, we've been talking about stepping into a fulfilled and empowered you, where we'll have inspiring conversations, have a guest jump on with us in the realm of relationships. And that can be a relationship with yourself, relationship with people in your lives. And tonight we'll be talking about nourishing intimacy in your relationship. And we chose this because we are moving into February and we are getting close to the beautiful Valentine's Day. And so we thought it would be a great conversation to see where people are at in their relationships and what is what's Valentine mean to you. And also, if you'd like to watch any of our previous shows, you can find in the links. There's a link to the podcast for those who want to listen to your podcast on the way to work and you have that long drive, maybe a trip you're taking, or if you'd like to watch how silly we are and goes to our YouTube channel, you can find us there as well. We also have another speaker coming up here February 13th. I just want to start putting that out there. He is a very inspirational man, and he will be coming live with us, author, speaker, motivational speaker, coach, and here's
one of his great books.
And he will be coming on live with us February 13th. And that will actually end our series, our topic on the 5-week series. So let's get started. So Mary and I had a really great conversation about what do we want to talk about. And we had such a fun conversation. And we thought it would be kind of fun if you came on and shared with us, what would you say the theme or the title of a song or a movie would be that would represent your current relationship with either your husband, wife, or partner? And so I racked my brain until I could find the right song. Because my husband and I, going on 23 years this summer, and I do get lots of people who ask me, Mary, you guys seem so happy. And how do you have all that happiness? So I think tonight we'll cover some of that, won't we?
Yes, definitely.
And then what's awesome is Maverick Mary is in a new relationship. So this will be a really great conversation about relationships, and how you can nourish that intimacy with that partner or that marriage that you have, or new boyfriend or girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So I would like to say that the first title song that my husband and I came into our relationship with almost 23 years ago is called, and he dedicated this song to us, Out of Left Field by Hank Williams Jr. Very beautiful song. And tonight, though, for just this show, I'm dedicating 2 songs to my husband and our relationship and the way I see our relationship. It's by Celine Dion. The first one is Because You Loved Me.
Oh.
And the second one is The Power of Love.
Wow. That's really romantic.
Yeah, I got goosebumps. Or it could be the pre-workout drink I just did. How about you, Maverick Mary? What are the titles or a title for your relationship? And how long? Tell us more about that first.
Well, today is 7 months, which I sound like a teenager saying that, I know. But to me, it seems like an eternity because honestly, I never thought I'd be dating anyone for any length of time. I was, when I met this person, they were, first of all, I have to tell you, I don't have a song because the songs that we have are in Spanish. So, just look up anything Mark Anthony does, or and you'll be all set. But I never thought I would be 7 months into a relationship. But what's interesting is we already planned. I had planned a girls' weekend after when school gets out, like I always do, and we rent a house together, and it's an inexpensive way for a bunch of girls to get away. He's like, "What? You're going away? I want to come." So there is a portion of the house that's kind of sectioned off from everything else. So we are going to be going together. But the thing that was interesting about it is not that not so much that he wanted to go, but when he said it to me, he goes, "I got to go with you." He goes, "Because that's going to be our 1 year." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Who says that? That I really felt like a teenager at that point. I'm like, okay, wow. I don't know when, you're talking to someone that was married most of my life. And for someone to say, "Oh, it's going to be our 1 year," it just seems so weird to hear that. But we have had a lot of great times in our life, but I can't really think of, in our short time together, I can't really think of like what our best movie would be or our best song. But I could say other things that are about us that are unique in that we're really funny and really humorous. Like this week, for instance, matter of fact, just yesterday, the phone rings and he says, I'm going to call you back in a little while. I'm going to be over later. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then we just hung up quick. And all of a sudden the doorbell rings. And so I go to the door. I'm like, "Geez, the phone's ringing. Now the doorbell's ringing." I'm like, "Geez, it's so busy." Like all of a sudden, and I go to the door and I can't look through the little keyhole to see who's there. And so I have to open up and I'm thinking to myself, I know I didn't put the wreath in the way. Why is that? I can't see who it is. So I like very carefully open the door just a little bit. And it turns out to be him. And I was cracking up. I said, "Did you put your hand over So he just does stuff like that all the time to me. That's like super, super funny. And no matter how bad a day you have, if someone does something super childish and funny, and I'm in my late 50s, he's in his early 60s, so it's just very funny to be able to have that kind of humor. So those of you out there that don't think that there's humor that happens later on in life, there definitely is. And a few days before that, he called and he goes, "I left a couple packages on the front door." He's like, "Did we get them?" I'm like, "Geez, the dog never barked." And he's like, "Well, you better go to the door and get them." He's like, "You don't want to leave them out there too long." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I'll see you later." And I go and get the packages and there's nothing there. And then he starts walking up the walkway. I'm cracking up. I'm like, "What are you doing?" So yeah, it's just silly stuff,
Yeah.
Silly stuff makes you laugh and makes life funny.
Awesome. Well, sounds like you're bringing play to the relationship.
Yeah, playful. And I think play and silliness can have a level of intimacy too. That would nourish your intimacy. That's one of the things that we talked about. I think if you're always so serious, how do you ever bring that playful, nurturing self to your relationship. You know what I mean?
Well, how do you do it?
How am I funny? You mean?
Well, how do you create play in your relationship? Like, is it something that you just automatically do, or is it a created thing?
No, I think it's part of your personality. It's either there or isn't. Like for me, I like to play games. So, and he likes to play games too. And one of the things I used to always do with my friends is go, and I still do it, is this game. It's called Singo, and you hear a song every 45 seconds, and you have to try to guess what it is on a 6x6 grid. And the name of the song is on one of the boxes on the grid. So they, instead of bingo, it's called Singo. Isn't that fun?
Sounds fun.
Yeah. So they play the song and you have to try to guess what it is. And if you have the song name, you put an X on. And he loves coming to Singo. And we like to play games on our phone apps and stuff. I mean, he likes to play video, boys games, or, he's always playing those games where it's like the fighting games where people shoot each other and stuff. But he'll play, and I don't play those games, but I play, other games. Like I play Elevate. It's a new game by Apple. And so he'll play with me. I'll play Words with Friends. He'll be like, well, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
So he joins in with things.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be an expert at anything. But I think if you're willing to try things, if one person likes hiking, but you don't really like hiking, or one person likes kayaking and you're terrified of the water, that might be an issue for you. But if you've just never gone kayaking because you didn't have the opportunity, maybe you try kayaking.
Mm-hmm.
I think that relationships are a part of melding that piece. I mean, he never went horseback riding, and he went horseback riding with me. So, and vice versa. So stuff like that. What do you guys do for fun? What is your playful activity that you do? do you have one? I don't know.
So my husband travels out of town to work. And so to keep play alive in, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To keep play alive in our relationship when he's not here. For example, this last time he was away, he was gone for like 10 months. And so that can be a challenge because we're not here physically together. So we love Messenger.
Right.
We have a lot of, he faithfully would call me every night after he'd get off work. And then once he got to where he was staying, he'd call me then and we'd talk for a little while. Then he'd hang up, go do his thing, call me back, and we'd play, the little faces and things like that, just for a little playfulness. But throughout the day, and not always, but most of the time, we do a lot of sexting.
Well, that's playful in its own way.
It is. But when we're together, I think because we have the commonality of having the same dream or the same vision of what we want to achieve in our life and such, and what we're committed to, is having a juicy, exciting, and fun relationship. So, like, he likes to hunt. Hunting is really not my thing. But like you said, I'll do it because I get to do it with him. Mm-hmm. And it's something we get to do together.
Right.
We both love fishing. We both love camping and being in Mother Nature. And we're kind of, I don't know if it's just age, I'm going to be 45 tomorrow. And
you're looking fantastic.
Thanks. But I was just, like, he's been gone for 10 months and working super hard during that time that he's gone, working 10 to 14-hour shifts. And so I give him the space that he needs to rest and relax and rejuvenate.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I'm not a big TV person. And so he likes to watch TV, and we'll find something together that we can watch together. And we'll just, like the other day, we just literally vegged out in bed most of the day watching TV.
What was your binge watch? What was your binge? Come on.
Oh,
give it up.
Vikings.
Everybody has a binge. Vikings. All right.
Yeah. And Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And he's watching one called Ozark. That one I haven't watched.
Oh, I love that one. I've seen all those. Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
I think it's just a variety. I think, and trying new things, like you said, trying new things together. Like we tried kayaking together. We just go on adventures, and we don't necessarily work out always together. We don't, I don't know. I think bringing the play is really important in keeping the relationship alive, or having that intimacy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Also, I think a little bit of competition is sometimes fun. And when you're first dating, you don't really know what games the other person's good at or not. So, I like to play pool like anybody else, and he likes to play pool. I get so mad because he beats me every time. I used to think I was good at pool. I'm so wrong about that now. Like, he's just so much better than me at pool. And so here's something funny. So he's never skied in his life, and I've been skiing since the time I was 9 years old. And no, he's not going to try skiing. But on vacation, we were near a ski resort. And in the Northeast and in parts of the West, they have gondolas that take you up with your skis and your poles, and they're inside. So that when you go on really big mountains, on this gondola suspended from this cable, and you can really see all the mountains, and it's beautiful. So we went on a gondola in the summer. And when I first described it to him, he's like, wait a minute. It's suspended from a cable. Do the doors close? Are you safe? So he had to see the whole thing, and then he decided to go on. But then once we were to the top, like the views and everything were beautiful. It wasn't the time of year where it was cold. It was in the summer. But it was fun for him because the person that was the bartender at the top, which this happened to be in Killington, they're there in the winter too. So they told him all about what it's like there and how much the trees freeze. And he kind of painted a whole picture for him about what it would be like going up there in the winter. And he says, if she skis, he goes, she'll just go up and down, and you can just stay here with me. I like that idea.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll go up and I'll go down, but just a different way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was funny.
That's awesome.
So you can improvise, everybody out there watching. Improvise.
Right. Well, I know you're pretty fresh in your relationship of 7 months. Do you have any pet peeves? Have you told him about the things that are
pet peeves? Ooh, I really don't. You know what? I don't think we really have those, and I guess the reason is that although we spend a lot of time together each week, we don't live in the same house. So I think that kind of wipes out the pet peeve part, because, pet peeves typically happen when you live in the same house. So we have our own individual space. Mm-hmm. I guess the only thing that sometimes worries me is he'll say, he'll talk to me every day after work maybe, and then he might get busy. He'll say he's going to call back, but he gets going doing stuff at home, and then he conks off, and I don't hear from him until the next day. I'm like, oh, I'm glad that you're okay,
Yeah.
So that's the only thing is like it is. But I at this point I know that with his schedule and stuff that he's going to conk off and stuff like that. So I don't really worry. It doesn't happen very often. It's only happened like a couple times. So that, and only because you worry, if someone says they're going to call back, then you kind of expect them to call back, and not really take a siesta instead. But so that's happened a couple times. But I don't think we really have pet peeves for that reason, is that we don't live in the same house and we both have our own space. So we don't really get under each other's fingernails.
Yeah.
I'm sure we would have pet peeves if we did live under the same roof, but I don't know what they would be.
Yeah.
Probably he'd have more for me than I would have more for him, because he's very neat and orderly and regimented. And I am too in my own way, but some things I just let go. And and he doesn't like things to let go. Like, all right, friends out there, I have a broken cell phone screen. I might have been able to get it replaced for free under the 1-year warranty. But did I make it to the Apple Store to have that done? No. So let's just say I've spoken to about that because sometimes when I text, because my screen is so cracked, it creates these typos that are extraordinarily awful.
Yeah, right. No.
Yes. So
awesome.
Yeah. So it would probably be me that would be getting in trouble more so than him, because I don't know. He's pretty orderly about how he does everything. I do all the planning, but he'll ask me at the end of the week, okay, what are we doing this week? Like, I do all the planning, but he wants to have it all down, like in his file cabinet in his head, like what we're doing. So I think that that's really good too, is just having respect for someone else's space.
Yeah, I agree. So, well, I would say that my pet peeves are leaving the toilet seat up. He has this thing about putting, I don't know, like he wears shirt. I swear he wears like 2 or 3 shirts in a daytime. He'll like take a shirt, because he wears 2 shirts. He'll wear a t-shirt, and then he has a shirt that's over top the t-shirt, but it's a button up. And he'll take that off and then just set it down somewhere. It don't matter where, he just sets it down. And then I would find myself going around and picking up after him. At some point, I just stopped saying anything about the toilet seat and just started putting it down. And then as I started learning about the law of attraction and learning about the energy within a house, the chi energy for feng shui, leaving the lid open and your door open to the bathroom, it's almost the old saying, you're flushing money down the toilet. Well, it's true. You really are, when you're dealing with the energy. So because of that, like I've been actually training my daughter, training like she's a dog or something. But anyways, teaching her how to just be mindful and put the toilet seat down. And same with Buck. Now I don't know why, but because of the money thing, he's doing better, getting better at putting the toilet seat down. But I find myself going back there just to see if the toilet seat's down and the door is closed. One or the other is usually not. However, over the years, I guess what I did is I just gave up making him wrong for the things that I dislike. And I noticed that as I did that, he just naturally, picks up after himself or puts the seats down or closes the doors. And, and I have expressed how uncomfortable it is to fall into the toilet in the middle of the night and get your butt all wet.
Yes.
Not knowing if somebody else peed in it before you.
Yes, I have experienced that. Not living alone, it's been not a problem for me at all. But
right.
in prior marriages, that was definitely an issue. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what is up with that stuff, but I wanted to share an amazing couple of books here in regards to creating an intimate relationship that is with intimacy, and that it's created by you and your spouse or your partner or whoever, without bringing in past relationships or how you saw your relationships, with your parents, and then it's coming directly from love from you. So a year ago or so, I did an interview with Landon Carter, and he is a coach. He's also, he's done seminars and workshops, coaching and consulting businesses, big corporations. But him and his wife wrote a book. Landon, his wife is Diane. But it's called Falling in Love Backwards. It's the power of telling the truth, listening to your heart, even when your mind doesn't agree, and bravely stepping into your future. With rare and raw courage, Diane and Landon give a roadmap to real intimacy with honesty and grace. And in this book, I recommend it. I highly recommend it. And then he has another one that's called The Awakened Relationship. And it's more of like a how-to handbook, which summarizes and pertains to relationships. So you can, if you're interested, you just go to landoncarter.com and you can find out how to get it. I think he'll probably give you the first chapter or tell you how to get it. Amazing man, though. Anyways, so if you're looking to beef up that intimacy and you're not finding that intimacy in your relationship, that would be a couple of good resources for you, for the audience.
Landon Carter, yeah. I don't know if I could handle beefing up mine anymore.
Well, I think for you, what you'll find, well, I think what you'll find really great in his book is how he talks about creating the relationship, falling in love backwards. It's for anybody that's new in a relationship, or you've been together forever. It's amazing, the tools that he offers.
Great. I hope everybody heard that.
Well, I'll type that into the comments. But we have a couple of minutes left. Is there anything, Mary, that you would like to add to this conversation?
Well, next week, is it next week? No, not next week. 2 weeks from now, right? It's going to be Valentine's Day. Don't wait until the last minute, viewers, to arrange that special something for your special someone.
Yeah.
Because restaurants get busy and you want to make those reservations and you want to send the mail order out for something special or something silly. Maybe you want to plan some sort of candlelight dinner or whatever you're going to be doing. That won't be me, but
speaking of that, what do you like? What does Valentine's mean for you?
I just think it's a time to show, love and appreciation, letting someone know how much you love them. Not only do you do that throughout the year anyway, but maybe it's a time to reach out to the people that I have a bigger family, so I have 4 daughters. So, in a week's time, I might not talk to all 4 of them. That actually might happen more often than not. So it's a day to make sure that I reach out and let them know I love them, to let my friends know I love them, and to reflect on my own self-love and what have I done for myself lately that's been loving and made me feel good.
Yeah.
And, have I rewarded myself for a job well done? Or have I been depriving myself of something? And should I be allowing myself to have that, whatever that means,
Yeah.
Because I think we're really good at depriving ourselves of things.
Yeah.
But not very good about, especially as mothers, we're not as good about giving ourselves things
Yeah.
as much as we'd like to.
Nice.
What about you?
My husband always usually surprises me with flowers, chocolates, stuffed animals. Sometimes we'll go out to dinner. I'm more excited about my birthday than Valentine's Day. We just spend time together. It's all about just spending time together, and because the weather here is not always the greatest, it's we just really hang out. And it could be just watching a Netflix original or something. But it's just about connection with anybody, expressing our love for each other and acknowledging people that they're loved. That includes my kids, all of them, and my mom and my sister and brother. And so I put that resource for people in the comments for Landon Carter's book on falling in love backwards and the awakened relationship. Really amazing resources. But really quick before we end tonight, I wanted to again, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but if you as a guest or a viewer of our show has an idea in the realm of relationships, please post that in the comments or private message one of us and let us know you'd like to hear more on the topic within that relationship, whether it's sex, no, I'm just teasing. Well, I mean, we could talk about sex, baby. Or just, like how to have a, better communication, or how do you create this juicy, intimate relationship? I mean, we could really take this a lot deeper than we did tonight, I think, Mary, huh?
Yes, definitely. I think we could take it deeper, like in terms of the connections. Mm-hmm. We didn't touch on the other parts of relationships, like how do you connect, and like you said, more intimately in terms of touch. Are you the hand holder type? Are you the people that kiss when you leave in the morning or kiss when you come home at night? Are you the person that's always calling? Are you comfortable around their friends as much as they're comfortable around yours? That all those kinds of things that come into like his family, your family, all of those things get to make things complicated when you're in a relationship. So
it would be cool is we could do like a live Q&A where it's just all one show about where we bring people on with questions. And I would start the show off with, what's working about your relationship now? And then what's not working? What are even the smallest little things could actually insert a wedge in, whether it be unsaid words, maybe you want more intimacy and you just don't know how to express that. So I mean, really could do that a lot differently. So if any of that interests you, or if you have some ideas or suggestions, Mary and I would love to hear that from you. Again, I want to remind you that February 13th, our special guest Dan Blanchard, international best-selling, award-winning author, speaker, and educator, who's appeared on over 100 television and radio shows, as well as some of the world's top podcasts, will be joining us in the conversation around the topic of relationships. I don't know what he's going to talk about yet. It's going to be a surprise, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a little teaser out there for y'all. Anyways, so I look forward to hearing from everybody. And thank you, Mary, and to our viewers and to people who watch the replay or listen later. Thank you for listening. And you have a great evening. Namaste.
Namaste.